Hello everybody, we are back again in another live stream. I hope everybody is well. And I'm just playing around with BIT and a Predator. And you see here is my Cubase. You see track Predator 3 here. In the middle you can see this where my mouse is. And below it is bit or BIT, which has a almost guitar sound, and it just was playing around because we have the Prisma, which you can use to stack presets. Currently cannot load in Predator 3. We're working on that one to have it updated very soon, but first we do the Anchor S update for Predator 3, which we hopefully have next week for you. We are in the final stage of having Predator 3 Anchor S compatible. And I was playing a ARP sound. And I thought, okay, why not try this with a BIT pad sound? But I first run into this synth sound, and I need to go to a different bank, of course. Excuse me, I'm still having a cough. Maybe this one? Or no? So let's see what happens now. Yeah, cool, isn't it? So that's a little trick inside Cubase, how you can play two sounds at a time just by using the Shift and click this, or Control. So Control, keyboard Control on your computer keyboard, and then you click that one, and you have twice the track, two instruments playing. Essentially, I could add also Blade here. You see? Yeah. Okay, let's see how the chat room is. And I wanted to talk today about synthesis a little bit. And if questions pop up, we will discuss questions in the chat room. Hopefully everybody's okay. I'm looking up because there's my second screen where I can easier see the chat room. Yeah, I see people popping up. Cool. Everybody is there, and yeah, so what's the latest news? The latest news is that Predator 3, we will have very soon the Anchor S support. We have a few small bugs fixed. We have this new presets then, which you already can download. The new presets from Audition will be this Audition 2 bank, very experimental stuff, totally different from many other presets. Very often drone type of thing, very useful for doing some different things. A lot of distortion, all kind of weird things added to it. So that's gonna happen very soon. Of course, RP-Verb2 is on its way, and we updated the RP-Distort, and RP-Distort is a very popular plugin, FX plugin. Okay, let me see if I can show it to you. Excuse me. I'm still having a cough. Here we go. Here's RP-Distort, and some of you know it, but the news is that we work on RP-Distort number 2. Yes, there will be a update of RP-Distort, an upgrade it will be. So RP-Distort version 2. And it will have some very cool features, some features you know from Delsane, for instance. And yeah, we're working currently on it, and the release is planned for early April. Maybe we get it in March, but sometimes things take a little bit longer. So in April, we will have RP-Distort 2, and then also will be part of the Explorer 7 bundle. So that's going to be a cool addition to the Explorer 7 bundle. Okay. So I wanted to talk about synthesis because at a given moment, we will have, at the end of the year, we aim to have Blue 3. And then, of course, you might think, okay, what is in Rob's head about Blue 3? Well, very often things slip over from one thing into another, just like Predator 3, which has many of the source codes of BIT, which we really created as a good alternative for a virtual analog machine. And the sound code, the juice we use, all the ingredients we use are from BIT are also now in Predator 3. Of course, BIT focus mainly only on the subtractive analog, so making nice Jupiter type of pad sounds. And yeah, it's I also had this other preset recently browse. This sync lead. This is a typical analog sound. Sync sound. So this is really focusing on subtractive, and although with the feature inside BIT, which you also can find in a Predator or SubBoomBass-2, is the option to frequency modulate, to phase modulate one oscillator to another, which gives you the option to create presets which are totally out of the box compared to traditional virtual analog or analog machines. Because essentially you have a little FM synthesizer. So here you see we have the oscillator 1 to 2 PM, which stands for phase modulation, and this is the amount control. And by having here in the advanced page, each oscillator adding a additional envelope, you can also control the volume of the envelope. So the envelope doesn't modulate all the time, the oscillator 2, but only for a particular time. And then you create these typical, very punchy FM type of sounds. Okay, now I get a copy strike from my own songs, maybe. I should be careful playing melodies because you always get the EI of YouTube are very clever. They detect everything. So yeah, BIT is of course focusing only on subtractive synthesis, although I could not resist to do this little trick here in BIT to have it that you also can do this phase modulation, FM and ring. Then of course we will have the SubBoomBass-2. Let me see if I open add track instrument. So I take you in the journey of my way of thinking and how things develop. How it's also an evolution. So you can mention, yeah, call it an evolution. So if we go to SubBoomBass-2, excuse me, you can see, okay, I still did not have the big screen version. Okay, let's go to the big one. Okay, I need to reopen it again. 1 second. Here it is again. Okay, then I close this one. And you see in SubBoomBass-2 we have subtractive. So we have really very good analog style of basses. But also here we did this feature where you can modulate the second oscillator. So here you also have typical punchy digital type of bass sounds. Let's see if I can find one. There. This one uses, you see, frequency modulation. So also in SubBoomBass-2, you don't have only subtractive, but also a little FM synthesizer. And of course, we had this modeled thing, this modeling. So this one is the string model. Okay, oscillator 1 is a real bass, and 2 string model, and combined oh, is my cam for the face gone? Hey, that's weird. Okay, yeah, good point. I didn't see that. Sorry, guys. So my webcam, well, that happened last time also, which is a bit strange. For some reason, the USB, yeah, I don't get that running, I think. Activate, deactivate. That's very strange. Maybe I should plug it in again, but the light is popping up. This should be a bug. Let me give me it. Okay. Yeah, you heard the sound. No, it doesn't appear. I'm very sorry about that. We don't have that today. I did not check that if my webcam was active. That was the last time I had the same issue, strangely enough, that the webcam did not appear. What I can do is make the keyboard a little bit. Oh, okay. Now again it pops up. Maybe now. No, see, very strange. Oh, there it is. I don't know what is causing it. It was lighting up. It's most likely a bug. USB can be very tricky on that subject. So I'm back again. Hello, you can see me now. So let's go back to SubBoomBass and the story about SubBoomBass. So in SubBoomBass-2, we added in Synthesis this string model. And the string model is a K plus something it's called. It's so John created this for me as a bass, and from there I had some ideas about what I didn't like, wanted as additional things. So for instance, we did that you can use velocity to go between the different waveforms, which starts this string model. So normally you would have white noise, but you also can here go from white noise to pink noise or a totally different waveform. So this is a little bit different than the standard K plus string model. And then I thought, yeah, it's cool if you can use velocity to control the the color setting. Also, what is possible with the string model is that you still can use the sub-oscillator. So this is the string. I still can use, here's the sub-oscillator. If I go to the right, I have a square. If I go to the left, I have a sinus sub-oscillator. That was added by SubBoomBass-2. So SubBoomBass-2 has the subtractive with the waveforms, but also a range of interesting samples, because yeah, you heard now in the first one here, that is a real bass. Okay, here you have a range of samples, but I also could say spring drum. Can make totally weird sounds. or combined with a tuned 808 tom. Of course, there's also a 808 bass drum. And combine that with the string. Okay. Yeah, so, and this string model so has some things which popped up in my creative mind, and of course I'm the lucky guy having John Iris as my programming partner and partner in crime, and he's amazing. And if I ask him, oh, could we not do this or that, and everything is possible for John, let's say 99%, and that's how we did get this string model. Well, this string model is also we are going to look into in having Blue 2. So adding something special, not Blue 2, Blue 3, which we aim to at the end of this this year. So in Blue 3, I also would like to have the string model, because then with the 6 oscillators, you can do weird things. So here, for instance, with Blue 2, you can connect oscillators to each other. And that's maybe also interesting, because also here you can combine string 1 and string 2 together. So, so I'm going here to string, twice string. I even could say, okay, do FM string with the string. String 1 is modulating now string 2. Okay, these are the things which pop up in my mind for going into this Blade 3 story. Blue 3. Okay, now I mess up all the names of the products. So you see, in SubBoomBass-2 we combine different synthesis, and in Predator 3, yeah, it's mainly hybrid. Predator 3 is now essentially combining. So it's a nasty sound. Predator 3 is essentially combining subtractive, so you can have, let's say, really moving waves, like this one. Or you can say, let's go fully subtractive in the style what we had with BIT, so really a classic analog style pattern. So that's really a combination. Of course, Predator 3 is, because there are more options, for some people a bit more complex to to program, but on the other hand, you have also more options. So yeah, these are two typically sounds which are very different. You see, it moves also here, it morphs from one waveform to another. These type of thing you better can, you compare a little bit with the original PPG or microwave type of sounds which you can create. Of course, it works different because it morphs between two different waveforms or between 8 waveforms. And on a microwave, you have a wavetable with 64 waves which have a particular character. So here it's a bit more freedom, but of course it's also a newer generation of synthesizer and also a different approach. So in terms of synthesis, Predator 3 has subtractive and this hybrid wavetable kind of thing. And then if we go to Blue 2, okay, I need to load Blue 2. We already have essentially 3 synthesis. Okay, here I need to pick also the big screen version. Need to reload it. Okay, here we have it. And therefore we have 6 oscillators because you have this FM synthesis where you see 6 oscillators which you can combine together. So initially the first Blue 2 was a combination of FM synthesis combined with the best of subtractive. So therefore there were cool filters, for instance, which you could not find on the first FM synthesizer DX7. So it's a next step. So I like the DX7, but it was also limited. And of course, with the digital area, you could say, oh, well, let's take the best of subtractive and we combine that together with FM. That made Blue, the original Blue. So I think with Fifth Element, I always show that as an example. So you have this oscillator A and B, which you see go out. And if they go out, they go to the filter A. So this one, this more the subtractive sound. So like, picture that this is a Jupiter. And then on the other oscillators, you see C, D, E, and F, they modulate each other. So when I put on F, which is then goes out, you have here an FM synthesis. If I change it here, you got this typical FM synthesis. Of course, now I messed up the sound, but that was essentially the story of Blue. The original Blue is that you combine the cool thing of of FM synthesis with subtractive and just in one package. So essentially, this is already a 2-layer sound. Yeah, and then with Blue 2, we added these XY. So the XY came into this synthesizer where you can control different parameters. In this case, it changes the filter. It's now in live mode, off live mode. Or we added also a range of samples. And with these samples, you could use, let me see, I go to this preset now. Once the vector synth was on, you did go with the volume between oscillator A, B, C, and D. So the four first oscillators were used in a vector-based setup. You can compare that with Vector, where you have 4 oscillators and you can move between these oscillators. So if I go to live mode here, I want to go to A, I have this sound, B is this sound, C is this sound, and D is this sound, which is essentially the 4 oscillators. So if I go back to the main screen, A, B, C, and D is glass sample. And that's also what we added to Blue 2. The other thing we added were a range of samples which are great for synth sounds. So don't expect a banjo or a real guitar. We added some samples that really were great for synthesized sounds, fantasy sounds. So now you hear D. And now you can use the XY to go from one part to another part. And this applies to the 4 first oscillators. The other ones, You still can address by using here one of the targets. So you have many options by using the XY in Bluetooth. So that was new in Bluetooth, and a range of samples. And the range of samples, yeah, as mentioned, we're focusing on doing, excuse me, let me see if I can find a nice preset for you. No. Yeah, now you can hear that it starts with the bottle, moves to the strings, and then you hear vocal and ring. So now 5 oscillators are used, but then simply as a kind of, yeah, and you see the XY lights up now, you can see as a moving sound in the vector. And of course, vecto is a kind of, a rip-off is of course a bit of weird negative flow to it, but vecto is based on this Bluetooth concept in which you use the XY to go from one. And this one is play, it's recorded, it's MIDI time sync. If I press here and off, it's got it. And you know what this is? Maybe it's cool to mention. Ring FX. This is one of these samples. If I go now to, let's say, a default preset, and I select this a sample, let me see where we can find it. Ring, where are you? Yeah, I need to find it. Metal. Okay, that's a good one. Where are they? Ring. Yeah, that's a good one. Always when you try to find it, you cannot see it. FX, no. No. Percussion sounds. It should be in. Beats me, guys. Ah, Ring FX1. Here it is. You don't believe what this is. Ring FX1. Very eerie, isn't it? But essentially what I did, I have a tambourine sound. I made an endless copy of a tambourine. Was the sample was after each other, and multiply versus multiply, so that you get one C of a tambourine. So originally this was a tambourine. It gets very dirty down here, but these are very cool sound for what you heard before. For these eerie sounds, which one I was playing now? Quick browse. This one. No, wrong. Recently browsed. Okay, I can't recall which it was. It was... No. Yeah, here you hear it, Ring FX. So here, it's really eerie. Yeah, down here it's indeed Darth Vader. Hi, hey, cool. You had Mikey Music mentioned where he used Predator 3 in a new track. Hey, that's cool. That's very cool. Okay, so we're working on Bluetooth. Just was checking the chat room. Bluetooth, I mentioned a little bit the original of Blue, combining the best of subtractive with FM. With Bluetooth, we did get this XY, a range of samples. And now in the Blue 3, the plan is to add also this string model to see if we can find some new presets there. Many people ask for getting also, and that's what we are looking into, that they can load in their own samples. I think it's only a select group will do this because it's always a lot of work in adding samples. There are a range of samples already on board, high quality, but of course then people can experiment themselves by using their own samples. So in that case, it would be that at the very end you would have user, and then you would have a user interface where you can drop your samples and work with Bluetooth. In that case, Blue 3 with your own samples. Okay. It has, of course, the sequencer and the arpeggiator that will remain. Of course, with the arpeggiator, I think we will expand with what we did in Predator 3, where you can have different ARPs, A, B, C, and D. And so there's much work to do. Some parts we will remain and keep the same, like the LFOs would be okay, still the same. We don't want to go too much off the basic concept, otherwise people get confused. What you will see for sure on the right-hand side is, again, the amp envelope with the attack, decay, sustain, and release, because this parameter here, this range of parameters are very important, because if you are in a process of working with a song and you maybe think, okay, this one should be having a slow attack, you can very easily do it here or make it shorter. So it makes it easier in the workflow. If you go, I show very often the pad sounds. If you are on a pad sound and you have one pad, and maybe you want this sound you find okay, but you want it to have a very slow, so maybe for kind of ambient sound, and you make a very slow attack, very long release. So therefore the amp is always, and the envelope is always visible. Even if you're on the bank manager, you still can change the amp. Make it. Yeah, wave changing things on the samples. So well, essentially, these samples, yeah, you could go with the granular type of thing. That's also we are looking into if you can add some granular things, but it really depends on the sample if it's going to be cool. So if we go to the granular part, which we have in Punch 2, so let's open Punch 2. Here we have Punch 2. Okay, I hear some other stuff inside of it. which is nice, but it's not from Punch, I think. I think RP-Verb2 is working here. Yeah, that's... okay, I need to shut it down. So if I go back here... Okay, let's take this one. This is a sample. And here we can do grains, granular. So it really depends in how that will work out. So granular is also something we are looking into having in Blue 3 so that the built-in samples you can use the granular on. And now I start wondering if I use this one. This is a Crash 7. So let's, okay, now I want to experiment something. Oh, now it triggers an idea. Give me 1 second. I go to the default preset from the introduction bank. Here it is. First pad. Because the first pad with Punch, you also can play up here. And then tunes. You can hear that? So above the last pad, which is, let me see, where's the last one? Is this one here. This is pad 24, so the B2 is 24, but our pad 1 is also up here. So you can play sounds. And if I take here a user, let me see, symbols, oops. You hear this, the crash? Okay, take this one. I like this one. And I grow granular. Let's see what happens. If the tuning changes, really got some. So picture that this is a... Get some weird sounds. So this is without granular. So it really depends on the type of sounds, how it turns out, how it crash. It's tuned, grains. So that is granular. So we're looking into that, but it not always has the great result. It depends on the original sample, how it turns out. And of course, I took now a percussion sound. I don't think that I have... Maybe I can look into other samples. Vocal things. Vocals. Yeah, it's already an FX, this one. Yeah, you can make some cool sounds. So it really depends, but we will put it in granular on the built-in samples. And of course, if you load your own samples then in Blue 3, it most likely also will work on your own samples. Okay, I'm checking here the chat room. Well, DTH production, will this still run when Cubase stops supporting VST2. I don't think that Cubase will stop this. It's a bit different story than 64-bit compared to 32-bit, because 32-bit and 64-bit is absolutely much better, and VST 2.4 is still working great. We have, of course, we will have most likely at the end of this month everything VST3. So also we had yesterday the RP-Distort VST3, but the next is also following. But I don't think that Cubase will drop this. There are also okay, and then the other question, Rob, may I ask you what sound card you use? I use indeed an RME. I had before in my other computer also an RME Hammerfall, and that was combined with a PCI card. I had it for years, works always perfect, and RME really needs to get their compliments about supporting and drivers also for older cards. They are the in my perspective, the best cards out there in terms of support, latency, and sound quality is amazing. I can show you because now Studio setup control panel I'm using now without any problems, 128 samples. So I don't hear any delay in my, for instance, I had a little bit delay before on my headphones when I spoke, but the latency, maybe I can even go lower than this, but the RME is is the standard in terms of latency. I don't know how they do this, but it's amazing. So, and here you can see the card I have. I have the ASIO Fireface USB, so the Fireface US it is. Yes, Fireface. It's hardly available now, this current version what I have, because they released a newer version which has a little bit more in terms of mixing and extra effects, I believe. So this one is already not currently, I think, not available. So they are not they're compared to other cards, they are expensive, but it pays back over time because yeah, you can run them for ages. They're very solid and amazing in quality. So, and I don't get paid for this. It's just my personal opinion. On my list, the RME UC, yeah, UC. There's also a UCX which has a FireWire output, but you don't need that. You need the USB one. It's and it depends. I think they also have maybe a 2 input and 2 output because I use 8 in, 8 out. But that's not always needed for everybody. Sometimes people have enough in 2 out and 2 in. So that depends. Okay, so yeah, that about synthesis and how we approach that. And you see in Punch 2 we have this Granular. And yeah, Blue 2 has samples, subtractive FM synthesis, and even Waveshaper. I mean, the Waveshaper, let me tell you a story. If I go back here to the default preset, let's go back to the default preset. I tell you something you might not even know. Quick browse, recently browse, default. Oh no, I didn't, not select it as a preset, but I simply did it here. Default. Here we go, default preset, which is a, oh no, that's another track. Where are you? Bluetooth, where are you? Need to check on my track list. Here it is. I forgot to mention that Blue 1 and Blue 2 also have waves distortion. Ha! Here's the shape. And if you go here to phase distortion, wave distortion, watch this. Okay, and nothing happens. Oops. Oh yeah, here I need to select non-phase distortion. that's also in blue and blue 2. So I almost forgot something. And you see here, I need to open it. So the shape is wave shaping of phase distortion. This is phase distortion. Okay, need to open it. You can have wave shaping. Even with feedback. Gets very noisy. And yeah, then you get the famous pull my fingers sound, which, but that was the feedback here, I think, from FM. Or was it here? So this is also inside of it. And of course, this phase distortion and wave shaping, this feature we also used in Quad. That was also essentially the same system. So yeah, in terms of synthesis in Bluetooth, you can even, be happy for years if you want to have everything pulled out of it. I mean, it's all, the limitation is the human behind the synthesizer, I think. It's kill that fly. Yeah, it sounds just like a fly indeed. So if you go here, let's see if we can find this preset. No. Oh, that screen disappears. Okay. Well, let me show you how funny Blade 2 can sound. And then we go to a demo song from Tom Aldrich. So I hope you enjoyed a little bit the today's live stream about synthesis and how we move towards Blue 3 and the ideas we have. So we pick from Blue 2, from SubBoomBass-2, the modeled thing, the string model. We will add the additive things from Punch 2, and then samples we will be able to download and much more. There's the bottle. And then you hear listen to this. You did not know, but Bluetooth can fart. And that's using the feedback from the shaper. So, yeah. Okay, guys, so let's go over to another demo song from Tom Aldrich. And Tom was inspired by the last live stream from GoTo. And, excuse me, I'm still having cough. And let's play it. It's called Cold Pop. And I hope it pops up, because this is the first time that I played with this computer. Here we go. Yeah, it has a saving end. Superb. Tom, thanks again for sending it in. Another cool demo. And for the people who don't know it, you can watch and listen back more demo songs created by Tom Aldrich on the homepage. Okay. So if you go, okay, I show it now to you guys. Here's the homepage, and if you go up here, you have artist, and you see TA Funk demos. And here we have some plenty range of very cool demo songs, and I definitely will add this one also to the list because I really love it. And yeah, I was mentioned last week, we have this early bank presets, early bird presets, where we have the audition, new audition bank. If you like raw kick, there are some raw kick presets, and in the new version of Predator 3, we will have this bank from GX3D, which I forgot to add to the factory list of Predator 3. So these are also added next time once you release the update of Predator 3 with the Anchor S support. So so the artist does have also my older bank Nova. We released the album here. You can it's available. It's from 1982. It's known in the Benelux as a synthesizer band. We were the very first synthesizer band, essentially, which had success in the 80s in the Netherlands. And I will add also the other band I played in Peru, but that will be soon. And then, of course, we have artist info from other artists, famous artists which use our products, and some older artist videos. So yeah, so this is the homepage, and what we have always, if you log in, you will have also on the home section, you can read about the latest versions we have. So you can read, for instance, that we have now released the VST3 version, the update for RP-Distort. And if you are having Explorer 7, you simply go to the download page of Explorer 7, scroll down, and there you download the single installer of RP-Distort. You don't need to run or download the full Explorer 7 installer. You also can use the single version. Okay, so I hope you liked it. This live stream, give it a thumbs up, and yeah, in case you missed it, you always can watch it back in the playlist live streams. And if you have an idea for next week, what we could do, yeah, just let me know and we dive into it. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and enjoy creating music.